Yashoda Nandana Vrachajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki Jai, Shri Shri Palat Lakshmi Singhadev Bhagavan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So, Hare Krishna. Willkommen. Jetzt gucke ich gerade, wie sprechen wir denn? What's the language we speak today? Who doesn't understand German? So we have three, the New Jersey family basically. Is there anybody who can translate into New Jerseyan? Huh? Yeah, right. Oder wer versteht kein Englisch? Hält sich die Waage. Haben wir denn jemand, der von Englisch ins Deutsche übersetzen kann? Von was? Wie? In welche Richtung? Von Englisch ins Deutsche. Okay, so sprechen wir Englisch. Dann müsstest du aber dich mit allen dahin hin. Hä? Okay, das sind auch die Eltern von Vito, von Peter Sarah. Auf die Couch. Die Deutschen ab auf die Couch. Aber wir haben ja die Oma auch da. Herzlich willkommen. So, das ist in der Zeit lesen wir eigentlich aus den Srimad Bhagavatam und jeden Samstag aus den Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Und heute lesen wir aus den Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Till everybody is settled nicely, we can chant Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So, again, welcome. We're reading from Caitanya-caritāmṛta, then we have here okay. Okay. So, Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta is it's sort of a biography. I mean, who doesn't know Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta? Everybody knows Caitanya-caritāmṛta? Oh, you. Okay. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta is a book composed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Prabhu, or Goswami, actually. He is associated with the 6 Goswamis on Vrindavan, and he wrote this kind of is sort of a biography about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The important thing about the Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta is that first of all, the truth is established in that book about the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meaning he makes it clear that the readers will understand that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very special personality. In fact, Krishnadas Kaviraj, he claims, according to scripture evidence, what he quotes here, and many different realizations from himself and other people, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different than Rajendra Krishna in Vrindavan. And therefore, actually, that's our sampradaya. We follow the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's actually, when we look at that, it's actually not so long ago that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. When did he appear? Approximately 500 years ago. Since 50 years, basically. No, there's a special, I don't have my phone, but there's a special, actually, we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we count our years from the event of the birth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Must be 534, 35, something like this, years ago. So, he took birth to give a very special process in this time and age, because understanding that this is Kali Yuga, the age where everything deteriorates. Like the universe is a material body, and like all material body deteriorates, becoming old. Like myself, I'm getting old. And everybody else. So, and more, now you see, I need classes now for reading. 1 year ago, it started. I always thought I'm too tired to read. Till sometimes I had to give class, actually Caitanya-caritāmṛta class, and I could not read anymore. And then another Puchari, he gave me his reading classes, and I was like, it was like a revelation, you know. So the body deteriorates, and also the universal body also kind of deteriorates, and also the qualities in that body. So, and naturally, as disease enter in the body, or disturbances, when one gets old, disturbances enter into the universal body, meaning auspicious things disappear. Goodness more and more disappears. And inauspicious things like sinful activities appear more and more and become more and more prominent. So therefore this age is somewhat condemned by the scriptures. And the great saints, recognizing that lack of purity, or the lack of spirituality, because even the teachings about some higher topic, or like spirituality or God, more and more disappear, and not only disappear, they get polluted also. So nowadays you get all kinds of different ideas about what is God, who he looks. Is he a light? Is he a is he kind of a whatever? People see God in all kinds of stuff. So, and the great teachers in this time, they understood this fact, and they thought the only person who can work against it is the person himself, is the engineer. If you have problems with your computer, you go to a Mac store or somewhere, where somebody is an expert who can do this. You go to the engineer who invented the computer, what was apparently not Bill Gates. So you go to a person who really knows, who invented all this stuff, and then you ask him, and he can help you. So the great saints, they thought, okay, we are now in the end, we have the scriptures, we have the processes, but they don't work. They're not so effective anymore. Therefore, we have to find out what we can do. And then the great saints like Advaita Acharya, who's actually more than a saint, he started to pray, and he made sure that the Lord appeared. Because as we always say, what is more important in the world, God or the devotee, the servant of God? What is more important? Wer ist wichtiger in der Welt? Gott oder die Leute, die von Gott erzählen? Huh?
Die Leute, die von Gott erzählen?
The devotee, right. Because without a devotee, there will be no God. Of course he will be there, but if nobody tells the tale, then how you will know that there is some higher source? So therefore, the Lord lives through his devotees. All right, and the devotees, they have the power by their bhakti shakti, by their love for the Lord, that they can attract and can command the Lord and say, please come, please appear. Right, and this is what happened. And so with the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is this incarnation, teachings came, or whole lifestyle came basically. And this lifestyle, more or less, is this what we living here in our Krishna conscious society, what we do here as Gaudiya Vaishnavas actually, right? And since we're here in the ISKCON temple, we are part of this tradition, of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. However, our focus is, of course, to try to give access to as much as possible people to these teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and this lifestyle. Therefore, everybody is invited to participate and visit us, join us, look at us, ask questions, raise your doubts, and let us deal with your doubts by hopefully answering your questions, and maybe even can make your doubts disappear. So therefore we are here, and to keep our focus sharp, we have this regular discussions on spiritual topics. What we do in the morning, like now, out of the Srimad Bhagavatam we read and have discussions, or in the evening out of the Bhagavad Gita, so that we can always retune our mind onto the higher goals. Yeah, so we're reading from the Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta today, as I said already, and we continuously reading, and we are in the section of the Madhya-līlā. The Caitanya-caritāmṛta is, divided in 3 sections. There's the Adi-līlā, what means more or less, in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, it's more or less the philosophical base of the appearance and the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In other books like the Caitanya Bhagavat, then it's more about his childhood pastimes. What is here just raised in the end of the Adi-līlā. Then we have the Madhya-līlā, what is more or less the time when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a very youthful person. And his activities in Navadvip. Navadvip is the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a place in West Bengal. Is now we have a big center there known as what? Huh? Mayapur, yes, Sri Mayapur Dham. And then we have the Antya-līlā, what is the time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu basically, when he took sannyas with how age? What age was he? 24. So quite young. And the rest of his time, on the request of his mother, basically, she told him, "You a young boy, you just a kid, 24. You know what is this? Sannyas, 24. Are you out of your mind?" And Mahaprabhu said, "Sort of, sorry." And she said, "This is all because you hang around with all these Vaishnavas, with these Hare Krishnas. You hang around with the wrong people, and they made you mad. And especially this Advaita. He is Advaita means one, but he's not one. He is very duplicitous. He is actually Dvaita. Don't go to him, because the brother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what was his name? Vishwarup. Vishwambara is Mahaprabhu. Yeah, but Vishwarup, and he made the same career. He went to Advaita Acharya, and then he took sannyas, went off in the jungle, and never was seen again. And his mother was already suspicious. What happened if he also associates with this Vaishnavs? Then he will probably also leave. But she tried even to take him out of school. I thought, this is the point. Vishwarup read too many books. It's not good to read too many books. Right? So better we let him be illiterate. Are you going to school already? What's your name? Yeah. Who? Deva Krishna. Are you going to school? You can read already and write. What would you say if your parents say, "We take you out of school. We don't want it that he becomes so intelligent, more intelligent than daddy"? What do you think? Would be happy? No? Seriously? Think again. No school anymore? Can stay at home, play whole time? No? Sure? You good boy. You trained him nice. Yeah. So in the same way, Mahaprabhu, he was also sort of upset about this, and he started to become very, very naughty. And this is what's happened. Now I have 2 boys. How old are you? 8.5. What? 8.5. Okay, so my oldest is 8, just turned 8. So almost the same. And the younger one is 5. So we have now 2 weeks holiday. Guess what? They become very, very naughty. So, and same Vishwambara, he became very, very disturbing for the environment around him, the people. And then the neighbor said, because this is why you have to send him to school, right? So to bring him back to school, but there we go. They became a very, very famous scholar in Navadvip, very learned. Even the older people, they became kind of envious and thought, oh, everybody want to study under Nimai Pandit. This was his name then. He was known as Nimai Pandit. And he was so learned that even people came from all over India to learn under him. Because it's not nowadays, well, I mean, it's maybe in America, in US, it's still a little bit different. You may have a degree, but what is more important, who gave you the degree, right? From which school did you get? And in Navadvip, it was even that thought that they said, okay, who was your teacher? And this made already made a difference of kind of what degree you had, right? But if you had a degree of Nimai Pandit, then you kind of first class Pandit. Jai Shishi Palat Lakshmi Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So and then of course how it was always, then after some time of studying, the Lord associated with the wrong people. In fact, first of all, he met a devotee. Whom he met? Who was the one who kind of pushed the first stone? Because when Mahaprabhu in Navadvip, he met the devotees, he was kind of making little fun of them. Huh? They're dancing always in the streets with the bed sheets. What do they work? What do they do? And this was the mentality in Navadvip even. This Vaishnavas are. What they're doing? They don't do anything. Usually we Brahmins, actually we worship Durga, we worship this. We're very expert in all tantric shastras. We know everything about it. And we earn our money with it. We earn money with it. And as a brahmana, how you can make a business out of your profession. But they did, and these Vaishnavas, they are just the whole day, they howling. They're howling. Because why they howling? Because the stomach is empty. Therefore they're howling. Not only the whole day, even in night time, they're howling. What will happen? The Muslim, they will just attract the Muslims. And then they will come and they will throw the house of whom? Nah. Shankasi was the Muslim. The house of where they were meeting. Where was the transcendental nightclub of the Vaishnavas in Navadvip? Srivas Thakur, Srivas Sankam. Right? They will throw it in the river. So this was the mentality. And Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit in one sense, when he met a Vaishnav, especially Srivas Thakur or Gadadhar, well, Gadadhar was almost the same age as him, or Murari Gupta, when he met them, then he was teasing them, saying, what do you know? What do you think? What you know? Whom you're worshipping? Tell me in the scriptures, where says it? Murari Gupta, you a physician, you a doctor, go and study your herbal books, what you know about philosophy. You want to discuss with me? And it was, this Nimai Pandit, he's such a brilliant scholar, such a effulgent personality. It must be Narayan himself. How he can be so effulgent? Sometimes we say, oh, this person has a great charisma, very charismatic person. When you saw Nimai Pandit, they thought, wow, such a charisma, that's unhuman. This is almost the charisma of Narayan. But in the same time, he's so puffed up. He's so puffed up because he knows so much. He's so puffed up. If he would become Vaishnav, everything would be, if he would preach for us, that would be the greatest benefit. One time I was distributing books in Chemnitz, I guess. And as it happens, from time to time, it's like you step in a bubble gum or whatever. you speak to some Christians. And not only that, they were not only just Christians, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Right? They are the best. And I had were two ladies. So I had to, and they were also a little bit elderly. And I had some kind of argument. And you know, kind of I made quite some points toward them. And in the end, of course, they didn't take any book. But in the end, they said, "Oh, but if you would come to us and preach for us, that would be very good." So they tried to convince me over. Come to our gang. You can preach for us. Okay. So, you know, they thought also if Mahaprabhu just would preach Vaishnavism, worship Radha and Krishna, that would be the best. And then one day, what happened? Very, very traumatic for every boy, for every child. What happened one day? Somebody died. Who died? No. Huh? Yes. The father. Jagannath Mishra. He died. He gave up his body. And Mahaprabhu had to go to Gaya. Gaya is traditionally the place in India where, what is Gaya famous for? Buddhist, because there's Bodh Gaya, the place where the Buddha got enlightened. But what else? Yeah, and where do you do this? Where do you do this? And what is it? Yeah, the footprint of Dharmashila, right? The footprint of Krishna, of Vishnu, right? So, and there you do, as you said, you offer pinta, you offer oblations to your forefathers. So Mahaprabhu, he was set to go there. And there, whom he met there, actually again, he met him already in Navadvip once, but whom he met there and what happened then? Yes, and then what happened? He got initiated, yes. He got Harinam initiation. And from that time on, he could not stop anymore chanting. And he became mad that he came back to him and said, "What happened? What did you do to me? I cannot stop chanting this name." Like all of our bhaktas, right? You get initiation, you cannot stop chanting anymore. Or, Julian? You cannot, the beat, you cannot let go of the beats. They just stick in your hand and your lips always vibrating, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So in that sense, Mahaprabhu, he thought, "Oh my goodness, I became mad. And then he became back to Navadvip and he was mad then there. And his mother was very concerned, but the Vaishnavas were, "Jai, he did it. Oh, prayers were heard," right? So, okay, that's something we are coming. I'm sorry, I'm drifting away, but that's the thing. The pastimes of Mahaprabhu, they're so attractive, one cannot stop speaking about them. But actually, we have a verse here where we go in right now. Okay, so we're reading actually from there we stopped last time, Madhya-līlā chapter 20. Lord Chaitanya instructs Sanatana Goswami. This is a very long philosophical chapter, but we go through this and see where we're going. Svayam Rupa Svayam Prakash Dui Rupa Purti Svayam Rupa Eka Krishna Vracha Gopamurti. The original form of the Lord Svayam Rupa is exhibited in two forms, Svayam Rupa and Svayam Prakash. In his original form as Svayam Rupa, Krishna is observed as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. So this is what Mahaprabhu basically instructs Sanatana Goswami, and he says the original form of Krishna or of Vishnu is when you see him in Vrindavan. because there he is most private. Most private. You know, we always give this comparison of Mr. Modi. Or, you know, so Mr. Modi, when he is in office, or everybody knows him in India or in the whole world, Mr. President of India, right? Prime Minister of India. So when you call him Prime Minister of India, is it right or wrong? Yeah, it's right. So, and when he goes in office, and with his secretary, they call him Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, or is it right or wrong? Right, yeah. And then when he comes to his closed secretaries, they call him, how? Huh? No. His kind of advisors who always very, you know, his buddies. Like, huh? Primey. Don't think so. But maybe Narendra or Narend. What they call Narend. Huh? Muli. Muli. They call him Muli. Modi. Modici. Yeah. It's still right. But when he comes home, now always, fortunately, now comes trouble. I mean, not my wife. I mean, what comes behind her? First comes beauty, then comes trouble. So, you know, they call him, so when he comes home to his beauty, he's married, right? No? Oh, okay. So when he comes home, guess he would be married, comes home, she maybe says, hello, darling. Or how you say in Indian? Tickle. You say tickle? Hello, tickle. Come home here. And she's still right? But immediately she would say, if Mr. Modi, you know, if he put his shoes in the wrong place, then what? Not tickle anymore. He would say, hey, put your shoes there. And he would say, yes. You know, she can command him. She can tell him off. And if he would have children, like this two, what? You know this example, huh? His children, they would say, on the floor, Prime Minister of India, you be our horse now. Right? Hä? Ja, ich wiederhole das bloß für die Leute, die... Die würden sagen, mach dich auf den Boden, Ministerpräsident von Indien, du bist jetzt unser Pferd. Ne? Und von allen verschiedenen Sachen, was würde Herrn Modi am meisten gefallen? Das Pferd, oder? Wenn er das Pferd für seine Kinder wäre. So genauso Krishna oder Narayan, Vishnu hat so viele verschiedene Formen, when he's in office, when he is in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everybody goes Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. But when he's private, what does he do, the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What does he do when he's private? He makes it, by the way, but not necessarily. What? Yeah, he plays with his friends and herding cows. Yeah, and not only with his friends, with his girlfriends. Yes, and this is and what he makes sure, what he makes damn sure, that Charu. Very good. That nobody finds out that he is God. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Joe makes an important point. He said, They make sure that they don't find out that he is God, because he could not play with them. Because if he would play cards with them, then he would always win. So Krishna don't want always win. He want to win over. He want to be defeated. He want to be defeated. Defeated by what? By love from his devotees. This is what gives him so much pleasure. So therefore, in his original form, he is observed as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. Prabhav Vaibhav Rupa Tvivida Prakash Ekavapu Bahu Rupa Yaicha Hailaras. In his original form, Krishna manifests himself in two features, Prabhav and Vaibhav. He expands his one original form into many, as he did during the Rasa-līlā dance. So in the Rasa-līlā dance, of course, Krishna expanded himself. Okay, we go to the next verse. Maishi vivahe haila bahu vidamurti prabhav prakash e shastra prakasiti. When the Lord married 16,108 wives at Dwarka, he expanded himself into many forms. These expansions and the expansions at the Rasa dance are called Prabhav Prakash, according to the directions of revealed scriptures. So we have many times where we see that the Lord, he just can expand himself, right? This is what always our temple commander wishes, that the devotees can expand themselves. So that would be so great if we could do this all, Janardhan. What do you think? Can you send your expansion? Gopi Gita, can you open the shop? No, I'm with the kids. Okay, can you send your expansion? That would be great. Or pot washers, kitchen helpers. Let's expand yourself. But it doesn't really function for us. But the Lord expands himself so many times. What do you think of where he... Okay, we have the Rasa dance, we have the 16,108 wives in Dwarka. What else? What else come to your mind where Krishna expands himself? Huh? Where they expand into cows. What else? Cowherd boys, that's the same Leela as when Brahma is stealing everybody. Then Krishna just filled up Vrindavan again with kids and cows. He became all the kids and cows. What else? Or is there anything what comes in your mind when does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu make such a thing? Does he expand himself? Yes, no? Sure? Of course he does. When does he do it? There's Radha-yatra in Puri. And there's so many kirtan parties. He arranged all of them. I forgot how many. You know. What's that? Exactly. You know everything today. Did you sleep on the Caitanya-caritāmṛta or what? Yes, he expands he appears in each and every kirtan group. And he is dancing with the devotees, and all the devotees think, oh, the Lord is dancing just with me. Okay. Saubharyati praya seikaya viyanaya kaya vyuha haila naradera vishmaya nahaya. The Prabhav Prakash expansions of Lord Krishna are not like the expansions of the sage Subari. Had they been so, Narada would not have been astonished to see them. So, who was Subari Muni? Who is this? Anybody remember? He was a great sage. What was his special feature? What he could do? What he did?
He could expand himself 8 times, 7 times.
Yeah, but why?
Because he has this mystical power
But how he got this mystical power?
in yoga.
Where?
That I don't know.
He did yoga many, many, many years on a very special place in the Yamuna. He was underwater in the Yamuna. And one time it happened that some fishes were swimming, and then suddenly Garuda came. And he wanted, there's always Prabhupada says always, Garuda is a Vaishnav, but what? He eats fish. He eats fish and snakes, yes. And Subari Muni, because he was always with the fishes, he thought like, that are kind of my pets, so I have to protect them. And he told Garuda off, said, you don't eat them here. Otherwise, when you come here again, then I forgot what happened. He kind of threatened Garuda, he cursed him, right? And therefore, actually, Garuda could not, therefore Kali took shelter at the spot of the Yamuna, because Kali knew Garuda cannot come there. Therefore Krishna had to fix it. But Garuda got offended by Subari Muni. And he kind of, because of this offense, what happened then to Subari Muni? Again, he saw fishes, a male and a female. And then what happens when a male and a female come together? Okay, we don't go in detail, but we get, huh?
The fish mate and he got disturbed.
Yeah, they were kissing. They were sporting with each other. And Subari Muni, because of this offense, what he did against Garuda, his meditation kind of broke, and he thought, such things also exist, like a romantic movie. He saw a romantic movie. And then he got some idea. And he went out of the water and went to Mathura. There was the king, Maha something, I don't know, Manta, something like this. Went to the king, and I think he had 7 daughters. And I said, I want to marry a daughter of you. And the king said, oh my God, look at this guy. Like, I don't know how many thousands of years he was under the water. When you, I don't know who has a bathtub at home. Somebody of you sometimes sitting for a long time in the bathtub. Joe, you don't have a bathtub at home. Huh? Omi and Opa has a bathtub. What happened if you sit long time in the bathtub? You become like shrimble, how you say? Shriveled. You become shriveled. Huh? Yeah, shriveled. Your fingers are shriveled. And he was also old, had gray hair, and he didn't properly wash them so nicely underwater, I don't know. So he looked a little bit very old and not so pleasant. And the daughters of the king, they were young. And the king said, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? And then he said, oh, my daughters, they can choose by themselves. And then Subari Muni thought, oh, very good. By my mystical power, I still have some credit. And I use this credit to become very young and beautiful. And then he came back to the daughters, and they all at once thought, we want to marry him. So he expanded himself. But as far as I understand, he could expand himself, but he could not act independently. When one expansion moves the arm, the other expansions also move the arm. Because Krishna, when Narada Muni came to Dwarka, and then we come back to the verse, Narada Muni went to all different houses, and Krishna was always doing something else. So, Chitram Vaitaitat Ekena Vapusha Yugabat Pritak Griheshu tvi asta sahasram striya eka uttavat. It is astounding that Lord Sri Krishna, who is one without a second, expand himself in 16,000 similar forms to marry 16,000 queens in their respective homes. Purport. This verse is spoken by Narada Muni in Srimad Bhagavatam. Aha. Seva puse akriti pritak yadi base bhava vesha beta nama vaibhava prakash. If one form or feature is differently manifested according to different emotional features, it is called Vaibhav Prakash. Ananta Prakasha Krishnera Nahi Modi Beda Akara Vana Ashta Beda Nama Vibeda. When the Lord expands himself in innumerable forms, there is no difference in the forms, but due to different features, bodily colors and weapons, the names are different. Okay, this is when the Lord can expand himself in very different forms, and according to different features, also in bodily and color and weapons, there are different names. This is what different Vishnu Murtis have different names. Okay, and now we come to verse 173, and there we go on the blackboard. Okay, Anye cha samskritatmano Anye cha samskritatmano Vitina pihitinate Vitina pihitanete Yachandi tvam mayastvam vai Yachandi tvam mayastvam vai Bahumurti ekamurtikam Bahumurti ekamurtikam Anyene anyecha samskritatmana Vidina bitenate Yachinditvam mayastvam vai Bahumurti ekamurtikam. Okay, somebody want to repeat? Anyeche samskritatmana Vitina pitenate Yachanditvam mayastvam vai Bahumurti ekamurtikam. Anye, different persons. Cha, also. Samskrita atmana, persons who are purified. Vidina, by the regulative principles. Abhihitena, stated in the revealed scriptures. Te, such persons. Yachandi, worship. Tvatmaya, being absorbed in you. Tvam, you. Vai, certainly. Bahumurti, having many forms. Ekamurtikam, although one. translation and a purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In different Vedic scriptures, there are prescribed rules and regulative principles for worshipping different types of forms. When one is purified by these rules and regulations, he worships you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although manifested in many forms, you are one. Purport. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47. In the Vedas, it is stated that the one becomes many, eko bahus yam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands Himself in various forms, Vishnu Tattva, Jiva Tattva, and Shakti Tattva. According to the Vedic literature, there are different regulative principles for the worship of each of these forms. If one takes advantage of the Vedic literatures and purifies himself by following the rules and regulations, ultimately he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4:11, Mama vatmanu vatame manusya prata sarvasaha. Worship of the demigods is in a sense worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but such worship is said to be aviti purvakam, improper. Actually, demigod worship is meant for unintelligent man. One who is intelligent considers the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvadharma parityaja mamekam shavaram vracha. One who worships demigods worships the Supreme Lord indirectly, but according to the revealed scriptures, there is no need to worship Him indirectly. One can worship Him directly. Om Akyanati Manasya Kinananchana Salakalya Chakshu Imidam Yena Tasmei Shikadave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupagaramayam Dadadi Swabarandikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, the material world is just like a big palace. The material world is like a big palace of a king. And who is that king? Huh? Durga Devi. No, she's not the king. Who's the king? Huh? That would be nice, huh? But I'm afraid no. Who's the king in the material world? Huh? Maya. She thinks she is the king, but actually not. Who else? Who? Money. No. Money. It's a fact. Huh? Huh? Krishna is ruling the material world. Krishna is the king. The Lord is the king. And everything in this big palace, in this material world, to whom does it belong? So it's Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. Krishna and his energy. To whom do we belong? To Krishna. So any questions? That makes it actually very simple, because everything, what we see, everything is his energy. That is his table, it's his chair, it's his blackboard, it's his temple, it's his kitchen. Charu? Was? His towel, yes. His towel. Everything is his. So, and to whom do we belong? We belong to Krishna. We also his. So when we want to take anything, we take this table, or when I sit on this chair, what should I do? Huh? Yes. And first of all, ask for permission. So actually everything what we touch in this world, we have to ask for permission. When yesterday Indian men came again and said, I got a new car. What do? They do puja. Huh? There's nothing in the scriptures, there's nothing like car puja, right? But still we do car puja, just to honor the simple or the very pious attempt to say, thank you, Nrsingadev, you gave us this car, please bless this car, because it's yours, and we are just using it, right? And with this mentality, actually, we can be completely free in the material world, because we have the right mentality. And it's simple as that. It's simple as that. If we always see everything in connection to Krishna, if you see matter in connection with Krishna, then we did it. We're ready to go out. That easy? No? Why not? Why is it not that easy? How long does he speak? We forget that it belongs to him. So because very easily we think, oh, it's my car. It's my body. We even say, it's my soul. Who says, oh, my soul doesn't feel so good. Why does my soul feel so bad? It's my soul. It belongs to me. But who is this me? Yes, it's actually, I am the soul. But this possessive mind is so strong that he even claims possession over the soul. Right? And this is the problem. It's only that. But if we get purified in our spiritual practice, if we start to do some spiritual practice, and actually it doesn't matter so much what spiritual practice you do. You know, Christians nowadays, what they do nowadays, or today, maybe not today, but what they did yesterday. Grieving, they're moaning, they're very sad, because their worshipable deity was put on the cross. Of course, this is a little bit tricky, because once we had a Ratha Yatra in Heidelberg. I think I told this already. And there was a Christian preacher, and he was preaching to us. He was, because many military base are there, so many Americans are there, and he was an American Christian preacher, and he had a T-shirt, God loves you. And he was always, we were singing, Caitanya-caritāmṛta Swami was there, we had him Harinam, and he was actually, in the end, he was the only person, and we were all dancing around him, and he was pointing, God loves you, and you, and you. And, you know, all the boys became so happy, because, of course, you know, God loves us, you know. It's like kind of, what are you telling us? Yeah, sure, you know. What's the point? You know. But he thought, God has, you know, whatever, you know, God loves you. Yeah, sure, why not? No. And then he saw that we put Jagannath in the end of the festival, we put him in a car, right? Because we put Jagannath in a car to drive him back to the temple. And he said, what kind of God is this? You put him, God, in a car. How you can put in a car? And Sabucha, at this point, he answered, we may put God in a car. You nail him on a cross. No word anymore. He went. It was mean, but it served the point. You know, he got the point. So this is actually, you know, and it's always the same. It's always the principle, because man is so foolish that he always chooses the bad thing. You know, Christ was a very moral man. He was a revolutionary in this time. Same actually as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took the scriptures and all these very strict rules and regulations. He just took them out of place and said, name of God, Everybody can chant. People say, you cannot say it, and they've gone loud. Are you crazy? No, it's for everybody. Chant, chant, chant. Right now, it's for us. It's like, name of God. But in this time, you could not say the name of God. It was forbidden for a normal person like us. Right? And he made it prominent. Say, if you take the name of the Lord, you will be purified. Therefore, we chant. Right? And same. Jesus, he said, what is this? You using your temple just to make money. Like Brahman in India. No, I'm Brahman, I make money with it. No, you used the temple just to make money. And you pushed all over the tables and all the money flew away and said, this is the house of my father. And you don't use it for your selfish purposes. So he was revolutionary, and he showed them in the scriptures. And kind of everybody's, oh my goodness, he destroys, the Hebrew brahmanas. How do you call it? I don't know. How you call them? Pharisee? I don't know. They have a special name. This scripture, who studied Pharisee. Okay. They thought, oh my goodness, he created tumult. We have to go to the Romans and tell, they should do something against him. And then, as it happens, even the Romans, then they thought, Pontius Pilatus, he thought, what's the point? What is he? He doesn't do anything wrong, right? And he went in front of all the Jerusalem, all the Jewish people, and said, okay, because of the Passa feast, this is a Jewish feast what they actually hold in this time, you have the choice. And he thought, I make it very clear to them. I just give them a mass murder and then this Jesus. And of course they will, and I will, because of this feast, I will set one free. And of course they will choose this one because it's a harmless person. They will for sure not choose the mass murder. What was his name? Barnabas. Yeah. So they will not choose them. So he was in front of everybody. He said, okay, now whom do you choose? You choose this Jesus or Barnabas? And whom did they choose? They choose Barnabas. Yeah. Sad story, right? And this is what always happens, because when we have to choose between our comfort and the God's comfort, what do we choose? Huh? His comfort? Comfort, sein Vorteil, wenn Vorteil. Wenn du die Chance hast, Charu, da ist eine Packung Kekse. Du kannst sie erst essen oder zu einer Singadev geben oder zu Giriraj. Was machst du? Du würdest zuerst opfern. Murari, what would you do? We don't ask so much. Yeah, but this is our condition that we of course Charu is well trained, but usually the first thing is, that would be nice for us. Yesterday there was a big discussion in the Brahmachari ashram because so many guests came. We were running out of prasadam immediately. And then there was nothing to eat, and some of the devotees had nothing to eat. And then Mother Suchitra, by her kindness, she said, okay, I will cook a pasta. And everybody was like, oh, pasta, pasta, pasta. And the brahmacharis got excited, pasta, pasta, pasta. And then it's not even cooked yet. And we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the pasta without it was even cooked, and what to speak of offered. They had a big discussion then. Is it now polluted? They were thinking, is it now polluted? The offering is polluted because we enjoyed it already. It was not even cooked. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit extreme, but this is immediately we not think, oh, Krishna gets another, he gets pasta. The Singadev gets pasta now. Of course, we don't offer it on the altar, but we have a kitchen altar, but there's also a thing they have, right? For such occasions. So this is our mentality, that we not think first of charu, wait a second, that we not think first of all, it's for the Lord. He can enjoy pasta. How amazing is this? Some devotees say that the Lord appeared in the West, especially in his form as Shalakam Shila, that he can eat all the nice preparations the devotees cooking. Pasta, pizza, He doesn't get this in India. So therefore he travels around, get all the different tastes. So, we think immediately, oh, there's somebody's cooking pasta for whom? Me. Right? So that's our mentality, and it always creeps in. Yes, Charu, what? Ja, das war später auch gekocht und geopfert, genau. So this is our mentality. This is the thing, and to understand that we actually here as servants, this makes us actually as human beings. As human beings, we are meant to serve. And when we have this mentality, there's no question of polluting the environment, because we understand that the environment belongs to the Lord. It's his property, and we are just his servants. And we have this mentality, then we will live in great opulence. There's nothing to fear, because we understand the Lord will always protect us. And if the servant lives in the palace with the Lord, he enjoys the same pleasure. Right? So, therefore we are here. Therefore we are in our Hare Krishna centers. We are here in our. We got this training program by Srila Prabhupada to train us to become real servants, to understand what is our position, what actually is the mindset of a devotee, to understand, okay, this belongs all to the Lord, and to us belongs the right. We have the right to do devotional service. If we think, oh, I have to do devotional service, I have the duty to do devotional service, I have the duty to wash pots, otherwise they will throw me out of the ashram. I'm here as a visitor and they say, oh, you should never come empty-handed, so I have the duty to give something to the Lord. Then we have the wrong mentality. So temple commander goes now, thinks, okay, now I distribute the services because everybody has the right to do devotional service. In this way, actually, when you do something what you're really good at, what is it? What happens then? Surabi, when you do massage your people, what happens then to you? Makes one happy. Yeah. If you do that, what you designed for, what you made for, then you become happy. And when you do it, you hardly get exhausted. Of course, in the bodily, of course the body gets tired, but you feel in the end, you feel happy because you feel, I did the right thing. Right? And this is what actually should be our mentality when we do devotional service. I do the right thing. How it can be exhausted, how it can be tired, how it can be boring, how it can be not exciting. I always tell the story, we had a bhakta here, he was very learned, actually he came from the university, but he thought I have to become for a while Hare Krishna devotee. And he was washing pots. For half a year, he was just washing pots. And the cook, when he brought the big cheese pots, where you make cheese inside, cook milk, and it's maybe even a little bit sticked on the ground. It's like, oh my God, who did this, right? But he became ecstatic. And the cook came with this big box and said, the Lord is very merciful today to you. And he took it, chai, and he washed the more pots, the better. So this was because he had the right meditation. He thought, okay, that's what is my duty. That fulfills me, because this pot is like my heart. It's always this comparison. If you see a black spot in your heart, will you leave it there? No way. So this is our mentality. Okay, this is all big words. It's also over 9 o'clock. I'm sorry to went over, but I ask you for favor. I ask you for favor that one day these words, what was instrument to speak, one day really they become my life, and that I can really, really one day serve you and all of the guests of Nrsinga Day, from all the servants of the Lord. So if you give me these blessings, my life is successful. So I'm asking you, please be merciful with this stupid servant of your lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Just for the sake of the protocol, are there any questions or something what you have to discuss?
Thank you for at least having this in English. Thank you. I know it's difficult for everyone, but thank you everyone. Just wanted to say
It's always our question, because we always have mixed audience, and therefore we prepare to go in different directions. Hare Krishna, welcome. Hare Krishna.